What is up, and welcome to another episode of the Talking Smack Show. So, I am lucky enough that I got to watch SmackDown live today because it's over in Europe, so I don't have to stay up till 1 a.m. So, I thought I'd go live and just give my reaction straight away. I'm going to start off with the main event, that tag team match. Whew. The SmackDown tag team division is on fire at the moment. All those guys are just at the top of their game. They're like, that tag team division is incredible, and that match was fitting for it. So I was just pumped to see the Street Profits back, particularly Montez Ford. I'm a big fan of that guy, and that match was just crazy all the way through. I mean, like, he came in, like, his first entrance into the ring was that leaping crossbody, and the action, the pace was relentless. DIY were on top of their game as well. I'm so pleased that WWE have managed to find a place for them on their main roster. Like, they've really found their groove with the tag team belts as champions this run around, and having quality opponents like Street Profits, we're just seeing the best out of them. And Angelo Dawkins as well. I just want to say, like, that guy's so improved. He's really. I remember watching him when he was on NXT, and I thought he was awful. He seemed cool. His gimmick was sort of like, it made me think of Pharrell Williams at the time, but he was hideous in the ring. But he's become a really good superstar as well now. I thought it was funny with it being a heel versus heel main event. The crowd didn't really know who to cheer for. They were loving it, but they weren't really sure where to go. Or I didn't understand their chants because a lot of them were in Spanish or Catalan. But either way. So as the match went on, there were so many near falls. I had no idea what was going on throughout it. At one point, there I was certain that the Street Profits had won, and Ciampa dived back into the ring and broke it up. And then Ciampa was about to deliver the fairy tale ending to Montez Ford, and then Gargano super kicked Montez Ford as the fairy tale ending was hit, and I was 100% certain that the Street Profits had lost and that DIY had reclaimed the belts. But Dawkins dove on them and pretty much flattened Montez Ford as well. And then they managed to get the win with Gargano super kicking Ciampa. I hope they don't have another fight and nearly break up. I want them to be a tag team through to WrestleMania at the very least. So Gargano super kicked Ciampa. Then Angelo Dawkins delivered a massive spine buster to Gargano. Tagged in Montez Ford, who delivered. He has the most beautiful frog splash ever. Like, no one comes close to the way the height he gets. It's just picture perfect. And they got the free count, and I'm pumped for them. I think, like, when Dawkins got injured, they were on such a roll. They were doing better than when they had the belts originally, and I think they really deserve that win. I'm still hoping that we go to WrestleMania and we have some sort of 5-way tag team, because I think the division's so strong. All those teams would put on an absolute masterpiece. And call me a patriot, whatever, patriot. I don't know how to say that word. Call me a patriot, but I really want that match to be ending with me going, yes, boy, and Pretty Deadly take the belts. But we can have them bounce around between everyone after that. I'm happy with that. But I'd love Pretty Deadly to win the belts at some point. So let's go over the rest of the evening, what happened. So we started off with Angelo Dawkins again, actually, coming in with a Real Madrid shirt. if you're American, you probably don't understand the rivalry there. So Barcelona and Real Madrid, it's not like what's a good comparison? It's not like Jets and Patriots. This is like hatred. It's a really, really political rivalry. So like Spain used to treat the Catalans, which is Barcelona, really, really poorly. Madrid is the king of Spain's team historically. So it's pure hatred, their rivalry. So to come to Barcelona wearing a Real Madrid shirt was pretty ballsy, to be fair. Like good old heat, good old fashioned heel heat, which was nice to see. So then LA Knight came out for his little victory celebration, having won the title last week. He didn't get very far through it, but as soon as it started, I was like, wow, the Barcelona crowd is wild. And they did not let up all night long. I mean, to be fair, the European crowds are, in my memory, always pretty wild. But that Barcelona crowd was nuts all the way through, especially when people were doing the turnbuckle punches. You know, they're 1, 2, 3. I can't count to 10 in Spanish, but they were going hard on that as well. So LA Knight was out celebrating. Big Jim Uso came down and he looked pissed off and he said, I'm out here to tell you I'm desperate. And it seemed pretty legitimate, to be fair. And he challenged LA Knight to the title. And as soon as he did that, I was really hoping we start getting a bit more of fighting champions again. Gunther was really good with that when he had the Intercontinental title. Seth Rollins was a great fighting champ recently. But the last year or so, I feel like the champs, they're certainly not defending the belts every 30 days. But I want more than that. I want a title match every couple of weeks for every belt, more or less. I mean, I come from the old Attitude days when you'd be watching Raw and then you'd watch SmackDown and they're changed over the belts during a house show. That might be a bit extreme, but that's I like title changes. Some of the long runs, don't get me wrong, the one tribal chief, his reign was incredible, but we don't need every belt to be held for 6-9 months long. Like a bit of changeover is good. It builds people up. It keeps everyone interested. When you've got different champions every week or every few weeks, the fans don't know the predictability that sometimes there with wrestling. It starts to go. So I'd be really keen for LA Knight to be a fighting champion and be out there putting his belt on the line every couple of weeks, dropping some heavy promos in between. I think it would elevate him and the belt and just make wrestling in general more fun to watch. But we didn't get that this week. So as soon as Big Jim finished his promo, we need a new name for them now. They're not the Bloodline anymore, but Solo came out with Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu. First thing I noticed was Jacob Fatu's got a new shirt out. I'm all gas and no brakes. So you better believe I was straight onto the WWE shop for that. And then so Solo came out, but he didn't ask for a title match himself. He declared that Jacob Fatu deserves a title shot, which I thought was interesting twist again. And then Solo and Jimmy started slinging insults at each other. I mean, brothers are gonna fight, right? And then Jacob, Tama, and Solo jumped LA and Jimmy, and they were going at them. And then Braun Strowman came out, did his little runny shoulder charge things, and Nick Aldis came out and announced the match straight away. I really, really love Nicholas. He's a good guy, but announced the match. The match was cool. I really like Solo's spinning solo. I think it's so much better than the Hacker spike. I hate the spike. Like, it's a fun. It's a fun. It's not even the coolest finger. But yeah, let's get the spinning solo as his finisher. But it wasn't to be, but it's not at the moment. So I really like that move. Solo seems to be finding his groove in the ring again. Tamatonga is just hilarious. Like I'm about 80% sure the dude has rabies. That guy is feral. Feral. So the match went on. Jimmy got a beat down, got a tag. LA Knight came in with the hot tag. You know how they normally go. Hot tag gets in and they just flatten everyone, right? So LA Knight gets the hot tag, runs into Jacob Fatu and pretty much bounced off him. I really like the way they're making Jacob seem indestructible. He gets knocked down, but throughout, like, you can see, like, oh, this guy, he is built like a brick shithouse, as we say in England. The match was fine. Braun Strowman got the win. It wasn't the most exciting match. But then Jacob Fatu attacked Braun Strowman, delivered 3 of his, what they called, like, leaping moonsaults, where he goes boing, boing, whoop, like that. He doesn't make that super camp noise when he does it, though. And then he was walking away from the ring, and then Braun was outside of the ring by the bell. Jacob ran down, went to charge him through the barrier, but missed Braun Strowman. Jacob went through the barrier, and Braun Strowman then fell through the broken barrier. It was quite funny. But the commentary team did a good job of covering it up, like Jacob put him through, but it was sloppy. And then later on in the show, Jacob Fatu challenged Braun Strowman to another match on SmackDown next week in Bologna, in Italy. I'm hoping that that's the end of their rivalry. If those two have a WrestleMania match, I mean, I'll still fucking watch it, but I'm not interested, really. Other than I love Jacob Fatu, but I really do not love Braun Strowman at the moment. So later on, Jay Cargill was doing an interview. It was done before SmackDown aired. During the interview, she was saying physically she's fine, she's very upset. Then Liv and Raquel came past, and Liv went off at Jay Cargill. And she had a really good point. She was like, why didn't you tell everyone that it wasn't us that attacked you? Like, they got all this grief, they got all this hate, and Jade could have just been like, yo, it wasn't Liv, it wasn't Raquel. Like, what a fucking bitch. Why wouldn't she just be nice? I know, like, she wanted to go and get Naomi at some point, but I get why Liv is a bit salty about it. But they're going to be having a match at SmackDown next week. I love Liv. But you'd imagine Jade's going to get the win, given that it's her first match back. But we'll see. Then B-Fab was on the way to the ring, gave a little Spanish promo to try and get a bit of face love. Didn't really work because they then went to the adverts. So by the time Charlotte came down, I think everyone had really forgotten that it was B-Fab in the match, to be honest with you. Their match was all right. B-Fab's much better in the ring. I read that she had been up with Natalia and Tyson Kidd training in Canada for quite a long time, and you can see the improvements for sure. Obviously, Charlotte got the win. She did the figure 8 leg lock on B-Fab, which always I'm smitten for that move. It's beautiful. And she wouldn't release it. B-Fab was screaming. Luckily, Tiffy ran down, attacked Charlotte, and you're like, yeah, good. Like Tiffy's showing a bit of a spine because she's been Charlotte's little whipping bitch recently, hasn't she? If we're honest about it. But I wasn't expecting what happened next. It was a brawl, like capital B brawl. Like you had all the security out, and it just went on and on and on. They'd be pulled apart. One would jump off of the barrier. They'd be pulled apart. The other would jump off the table. They'd be pulled off apart. I think Tiffy in the end jumped off of the turnbuckle down onto everyone and then stamped on Charlotte's chest, like stamped. And then the security managed to split them up, pull them apart. Then there was a little Drew McIntyre promo about Damian Priest and how I'd sort of like slept on this, to be fair. The fact that Damian Priest was the one who won his belt after CM Punk attacked Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, and then Drew won the Money in the Bank and was going to cash in on Damian Priest, but CM Punk attacked him. So the rivalry, like, it was good realizing that the rivalry has gone on for much longer because so much happens in wrestling. I forget, I've got to be honest sometimes. So it was cool that we got given that to help us keep up with what's going on. And then Miz TV started. The Miz came down to the ring. But before anything else happened there, the brawl went on even longer. So we still had Tiffy and Charlotte going at each other, man. And in the end, Tiffy climbed up, I don't know what it's called anymore, but the Titantron, and dove onto everyone and took them all out, and then gave her little... So it was good that Tiffy got one over and looked vicious, but it was heated. So then we had Cody come down for his spot on Miz TV. During it, before Cody came down, Miz said something that I loved the Miz, by the way. Like, he is hilarious. The same way I love Chelsea Green, I love the Miz. He goes about Cody. He got beat up by two great rappers, Travis Scott and John Cena, which just cracked me up. Like, it was gold. So then Cody came down. Cody was getting on with his song. The crowd was singing it. And then the Miz went, "Cut the music. We need to get on with the interview," which the crowd were furious about. And Cody was equally furious about. And Cody just attacked Miz. He was pissed. Got on the mic, told John Cena he's going to be in Italy, and John Cena, if he can make time to fit us in, he wants to talk to John Cena and no one else. And then the music came on again, and the Barcelona crowd got to sing along one more time. So then I didn't really get why Priest and Nakamura decided to have a match, but Nick Aldis sanctioned it. I enjoy Nakamura in the ring so much, like that strong style. It's vicious, and it's cool to see, man. I really hope he's not leaving. There's a lot of like talk that his contract's close to expiration. I hope he signs a new deal. Like, that guy is a workhorse. He is one of those wrestlers who will do any shit. Like, he'll have the worst storylines. He'll job for months and months. But then he got rewarded with the US title, well deserved as well. So I hope we're not coming to the end of our Nakamura relationship, love story, if you will. But their match was decent. In the end, like a real rough battle it was, actually. Nakamura went for the Kinshasa, and Priest managed to sort of evade it and hit south of heaven. And while he went for the pin, McIntyre attacked and beat the living hell out of Damian Priest. And then while Priest was down, he was getting up to his knees, and Nakamura hit the Kinshasa on Damian Priest. Drew McIntyre just sort of looked, and they did a sort of, yeah, thanks. And then Nakamura left, and Priest got battered again by Drew McIntyre. He was battering him. He left, came back, attacked him some more again. And I was thinking, where are the security this time? And I've got two theories. Either Tiffy decked all the security and that little like 140-pound girl landing on 40 men was too much for them to be able to carry on. Or Damian Priest might be a prick. They're the only two options. Why would they break up Charlotte and Tiffy and not Damian Priest and Drew? It must be one of those. Either there's a lot of injured security, or Damian Priest's a bit of a knob. Put in the comments what you think it is. So before we carry on, I just want to say, if you want to be a little bit more like Damian Priest and have that physique, be able to wear tight lycra, I'd love to help you out. If you want to be able to sleep better and recover better than those poor broken security, I want to help you out. If you want to be healthier, if you want to maybe get into wrestling shape, hit me up, scan the QR code in the bottom right-hand corner, Foundations Health Coaching. I'd love to help you out. Back to the show. I really enjoyed this SmackDown episode. I thought the first like 40 minutes, I was not super into it. But once the Tiffy and Charlotte fight, like brawl started, it was just action from that point onwards. It was a great show, I thought. So then we had a little backstage segment with the Green administration. Again, she mentioned Nicholas constantly ruining her life. Alba Fire is now officially a member of the Secret Service as well, which is, I think we all knew, but good to hear. And then Zelina Vega showed up. She wants a shot at Chelsea's US title. And Piper Niven said, you're going to have to get through me. So we've got a match next week. Piper Niven versus Zelina Vega. And if Zelina Vega wins, sounds like she'll get a shot at the US title. I like Zelina Vega, but I am not ready for Chelsea Green to lose that belt. So here's hoping. Then we had Randy versus Carmelo. Remember, Randy caught Carmelo talking shit about him backstage last week. And their match was incredible. Like Randy, everyone knows what a good wrestler Randy is. Still, his moves are smooth, the way he sells everything. But Carmelo was such a good foil for him. Like every kick, every slam, Melo is rolling, writhing around. The two of them had a brilliant match. I loved it. I was so into that match. Carmelo Hayes, always a good wrestler, but I thought that the two of them really brought the best out of each other. And then the RKO really did come out of nowhere during this match to secure the win, which was great. And Joe Tessitore's, I might have said his name wrong, but his commentary at that point was brilliant. Like he really makes the moment, I think. I'm a big fan of Joe Tessitore. Him and Wade Barrett together are quality. Then Randy went to shake Melo's hand after having picked up the win, and Carmelo probably made a mistake, shoving Randy away. I think we all know what happened. Out of nowhere, Another RKO. And then Randy started hearing voices. He pulled up his knee pads. He took a run up, ran, swung his foot back, and Kevin Owens dragged Melo out of the ring. Randy dived out of the ring after him. They traded blows for a minute. Then KO hopped over the barrier and ran off back into the crowd, wanting nothing else to do with Randy. I want to know what's going to happen at Mania. Is Sammy going to have anything? Because Randy versus KO is going to be a great match, but is Sammy just missing a Mania moment? If he is, surely when he comes back, he has to be given a title opportunity. Maybe Randy will injure KO for a bit, and then that'll mean that Sammy can come back and have his own thing and hopefully win a title. I mean, he's brilliant, isn't he, Sammy? Like, the connection he gets with the crowd is so good. He's feeling Usi. We all love that. Like, that was gold, wasn't it? And he's just such a good, he seems like a great guy and also just a really good superstar. I know at the moment it's also Ramadan, so that might have something to do with having disappeared. I think Ramadan will be over before Easter, but I'm not 100% sure. But it'll be interesting to see what happens there as well. So then Gunther came down. I was a bit confused. Like, he's the Raw champion. Said it was great to be in Europe, but wished that he was in Madrid. And then shouted Hala Madrid, which again is that rivalry I mentioned at the beginning. Then he said about Spain having a boy, he called him. And all of Spain thought he was brilliant and he wanted to see whether he was really that good. So he called out Axiom, who, if you watch NXT, you'll be very familiar with Axiom. Axiom is such an exciting luchador. He's Spanish, not Mexican. Supported Barcelona. They gave a good little rundown of his background in the commentary. He at the moment he's one of the NXT champions with Fraser. They're called Fraxium, and if you haven't watched it yet, I would highly recommend watching Fraxium versus the Hardy Boys on NXT Roadblock this week. Just gone. The Hardy Boys are back and they are looking good. They are looking lean and mean. Matt Hardy looks physically in the best shape he's been for a long, long time. And Jeff Hardy seems to really have his life back together, which is brilliant news. And it was a brilliant match. So I'd recommend checking that out. But the match, Gunther versus Axiom, was class. I really, really, really enjoyed it. Axiom did a great job of really letting Gunther be the bully, and Gunther was that evil bully. But Axiom put on a brilliant performance as well. And I've been preparing for something about NXT stars that I think will come up to the main roster after WrestleMania, and Fraxium I think are the top of my list, and Axiom is the star in that tag team. I think Fraxium are sort of his vehicle at the moment. I don't know how good his English is, but it was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed that match. It was like, having watched the Randy match and then that match, I felt spoiled. And then we had that fantastic main event with Street Profits following them. I really, really enjoyed Smackdown again. I'm pretty tired. This is way past my bedtime normally. 10:30 is late for me. But I loved getting to watch it live as well. Not having to worry about spoilers. The Spanish crowd were fantastic. Really looking forward to the next few weeks leading up to WrestleMania. Paul Heyman also came out and just sort of spoke about really just bigging up the WWE new game, to be honest, but mentioned it being Roman Reigns Day and how his good friend CM Punk isn't happy Roman Reigns is on the cover. And then Joe Tessitore also mentioned for us, reminding us about that promise or favour that CM Punk is owed by Paul Heyman. So that'll be interesting to see. I think it's shaping up to be a brilliant WrestleMania. That WWE always pull it off, but since Triple H has taken over, the shows are just, the storytelling is fantastic. The wrestlers, I think we're in a real golden age with the superstars again as well. And having watched NXT Roadblock as well, like WWE is just dominant now. They've got all the TNA superstars as well, but WWE is just, for me, trouncing all the competition, and WrestleMania is going to be an incredible show. I cannot wait for it. I am so pumped up. But with that, have a good evening. See you next week for the Raw show. I'm going to do that again straight after, hopefully. Until then, stay all gas and no break.